Hey guys, I thought I would share the pickle story with you. So here's how it goes. When I was in undergrad, I had a friend named Mandy. Now, Mandy was an absolute nut. Now, her nickname was Boogie, which was given to her by her father, and she even had Boogie on her license plate. But we had a literature class together my freshman year, and we just became really good friends. She was an absolute nut, fun to hang out with, always, joking, cutting up. So just a good friend. And Mandy was notorious for mooning people. I mean, she mooned me in the middle of campus, like on the quad. She mooned me in the Asheville Mall one day. If you upset Mandy, or if you picked on her, or you got her with a zinger or whatever that she couldn't come back from, she mooned you. That's just the way she was. She was going to drop trowel, and you were going to see Mandy's butt. I don't think there's anyone that knew Mandy that didn't actually see her butt at some point or another. So, I mean, she even mooned the professor that our literature class. She mooned him in class one day. She had got like a paper back that she didn't like the grade on, and she went back to her desk, and she sat next to me, and she went back to her desk, and I looked over at her, and she was just fuming. She's like, and I'm like, Mandy, what's wrong? And she showed me the paper, and she'd got a D on the paper, and I'm like, it's okay, Mandy. She's like, no. And she stood up. She goes, Dr. Nineheis. And he said, yes, Amanda. And she turned around, dropped trowel, mooned him right in the middle of class, pulled her pants back up, sat back down, and just, And he just looked at her and he goes, thank you, Amanda. Thank you for that. It went on. But that was Mandy. So she was an absolute nut, and she just was notorious, like I said, for mooning people. Well, at the time, this was my freshman year, and I had been coaching high school baseball at my alma mater for a couple of years right before I started college. And I was, we were playing the high school that was in the same town as where I went to college at Western Carolina, which was Smoky Mountain High. Ian, that would be where Cal Raleigh went as well. His dad, Todd, was at Western while I was there as well. So we were playing Smoky Mountain, and Mandy decided to come out with her entire sorority, or a bunch of the girls, to the game to see me coach. So I was down there coaching first base. Now, first of all, we had green jerseys and gray pants. Not all green or whatever, but just relevance in a moment. And so she came out and with her sorority sisters, and I was out there coaching first base, and she proceeded to catcall me the entire game. It was, "Who, Stacy, look at that butt. What's that bulge up front?" Because as a coach, you stand on first base, you're going to wear a cup. She was just constantly giving it to me the whole time. And so, at the end of one of the innings, I'm standing there, and, we get the third out. I'm about to go back in the dugout, and Mandy yells down, "Stacy, will you marry me?" I'm like, oh my gosh, Mandy. And I was like getting so embarrassed. I mean, because this WLOS, the local news station, was there because there was some kid for Smoky Mountain that was being drafted, or that scouts were there watching and stuff. And so there was a lot going on. This was really embarrassing. She was starting to really, really get to me, and just kept on and kept on and kept on. And so she yelled down, "Stacy, will you marry me?" And I'm like, I looked up and I'm like, Boogie, I said, "Why are you doing this to me?" Just laughing. And all of a sudden she goes, "You better answer me." And she grabbed the side of her shorts. She goes, "Don't think I won't do it here." I'm like, oh no, she's going to moon me in front of everyone in this stadium. I mean, this is high school baseball. It's not big, but there were all of my players, all of their players, the coaches. Some of the coaches were in my classes at Western with me, the families, the parents of those players, and 13 WLS is there. So I'm like, if I get mooned by Boogie here at the game, it's going to end up on the news. They're going to be like, some interesting things happened at this game today. And so I look up at her, and I know Mandy. I know her well enough to know that she wants to moon me. If the moon E doesn't see the moon, then she won't do it. So I thought, all right, I'm just going to walk in the dugout, because she goes, so she said, she better ask, she goes, "You better answer me. Don't think I won't do it here." And so then I'm like, all right, I'm walking in the dugout because I know she won't do it. And then all of a sudden she just belted out, "You look like a pickle," because of the green jerseys and gray pants, the green jerseys. And from that day forward, Mandy called me Pickle. I mean, her parents didn't even know my name. I went and spent a week with her down in, she lived down near other side of Charlotte. And I spent a week with her one summer, and her mom and dad just, hey, Pickle, it's good to see you, the whole time. But like I went to see her, when she graduated from grad school, I went back and met her, and her mom looked at her dad and goes, oh, look, Wally Pickle's here, So that was that whole story. But there was a comedian, Wendy Lieberman, I think was her name, that came to campus. And Mandy worked for a part of campus that put on the promotions, last minute productions, that, they got the comedy acts or the bands and that kind of stuff that they would get there for entertainment, to entertain the students. And Mandy happened to be the person that went to the airport, the Asheville airport, about 45 minutes away, an hour away from campus, to pick up Wendy Lieberman. And so she got to tell her all kinds of stories on the way back to campus. And then Mandy made sure that my roommate Andy and I had front row tickets to the concert, to the comedian show. So I'm sitting down front, and about halfway through the act, all of a sudden, I'm sitting right down front. Me and Andy are down front. And all of a sudden I hear, so, where's Pickle? And my roommate Andy's like, he's right here, he's right here. I'm like, oh no. And I look up and I see Mandy off behind the curtain, and she's peeking around the curtain. She's just laughing at me. I'm like, oh my gosh, Mandy, what did you do? And so she's like, so tell me, how did you get the name Pickle? And I'm like, it's a long story. She goes, yeah, I bet it's a long story. And she proceeded. I was laughing so hard that I don't even remember all the things she said, but the comedian just went on me for about 5 minutes on the whole pickle thing and all this other stuff. It was a lot of fun, but that was the Pickle story, and that's Mandy. But since I said that I would give you some voices too, and I'm sure if I've lost some of y'all, whatever, I just thought I'd share this with you. But so my other nickname that I had, that I've, is Scooby. I've always been, good at doing voices and accents and stuff like that. But, before I got to Western, some of my buddies always would call me Scooby because I got to where I could really do the Scooby voice well. But so, roll, Reggie, over here. And then you throw Shaggy in with it too, like, Loink's like, hey there, Scoob, what's going on? Roll, Reggie, let's go. But that's my Scooby and Shaggy. But I can do all kinds of voices and accents and stuff, and it's a lot of fun to do them. And it kept my daughters entertained for quite a long time. But I used to drive back from picking up my daughter, who's 16 now, and she just wants, Daddy, are my friends here? And I would do different voices and accents. She would call it like, Daddy, do Bugs Bunny is talking to Darth Vader and da-da-da, whatever. And it's like, you've got what a maroon. What's this guy over here doing? You leave me alone, you silly rabbit. Whatever. So it's just a lot of fun stuff to do with that. But thought I'd share that with you guys, and hope I didn't bore you or, make myself look like more of a nut than I already am. But thanks, guys.